What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City live watch-along. Today, we're going to be doing the live watch-along in the Premier League of Newcastle United taking on Manchester City at St James's Park today in this early afternoon kickoff. So before we do crack on with this live watch along, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then please do leave a thumbs up. We are aiming for 100 likes. We are already on to 22 likes, 78 away. So any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget as well to go and leave your thoughts in the live chat. That would be much appreciated. We've already got Nadir in. Doesn't like the team selection. Dalton, thanks for tuning in as well. Says he's going positive 2-1 for Manchester City. Little sceptical on the team. Says we really need Foden to find his feet today. We're missing Kevin De Bruyne. I'll speak more about the teams in just one moment. I also want to say a big hello to Alvin as well. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, do get your score predictions in the live chat and also where you are tuning in from today. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you are new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description. If you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, email also in the description too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And speaking of sponsors, I wanted to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. They're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest scores from around the grounds, not just limited to the Premier League or football in England, but all the games from around the grounds for you guys to go and check out. They'll keep you up to date with the latest match information along with the latest statistics and analysis and so much more. They're also going to keep you guys up to date with the latest scores and information from all the other sports games that you guys love to follow, all in one place, all in one app. Cricket, it's on there. Rugby, it's on there. Formula 1, it's on there. Darts, it's on there. Everything, it's on there. Do go and check it out. Links and details, they are in the description. It is a free app to download, and anyone that does download using my link in the description or the QR code on screen or the link in the live chat does help to support the future content created here on my channel. I wanted to say a big thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring this watch-along. And we're going to head on to the SofaScore app where we're going to have a look at what is happening from this game. Thank you very much to Cardo for tuning in as well. Going for a 3-1 victory today for Manchester City. Love that, nice and positive. I'll be very happy with a 3-1 victory for Manchester City. So I can cast my votes on here. Who do I think is going to win the game? I'm going to back my team, Manchester City, all the way. So I'm going with City, where 73% of SofaScore users, just under 100,000 people have voted so far, going with a Manchester City win. 13% with a draw and 14% going with a Newcastle win. Interestingly, I'm rolling my poll, which you can go and leave your votes for up until kickoff with what the result of today's game is going to be. Nobody right now thinks it's going to be a draw. 7% going with a Newcastle win and 93% going with a Manchester City win. eFootball God, thanks for tuning in. Says most citizens are not happy with today's lineup. We're going to speak about today's lineup in just 1 second. Do I think both teams are going to score in this game? I'm going to go for yes. 80% of users think yes. 20% with no. And who do I think is going to score the first goal? I think today's first goal is going to go to Manchester City, which 79% of SofaScore users think is going to happen, with 18% going with Newcastle. So this game, it's being broadcast live on TNT Sports if you're watching in the United Kingdom, so do go and check out. It's being broadcast live in the UK. You have got Jared Gillett. I hope that's how it's pronounced. It's not Gillett or Gillet, however you want to pronounce it. I think it's Gillette. So Jared Gillett in charge of today's game. Averages giving 4 yellow cards per game with an average of just 0.17 with a red card. So as long as it's not a feisty game, I can't see red cards being dished out in this game, which I think was a big talking point from last weekend's game against Arsenal in our last Premier League game. So the lineups for today, I'm going to go through our opponents first. Newcastle United, a pretty experienced team, average age of 28.3 years, lining up with a typical Eddie Howe 4-3-3 formation with Nick Pope starting in goal. A back four made up of Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schar, Dan Burn, and Lewis Hall. Surprised Livramento's not started, but there we go. Lewis Hall given the nod instead. Into midfield, Bruno Guimaraes starts and captains Newcastle today, along with Sando Tonali, who gets the nod over Willock, along with Joe Linton starting in midfield for Newcastle. And then out wide, you've got Jacob Murphy on the right wing, Harvey Barnes starting on the left wing, and Anthony Gordon starting up top. It could well be Harvey Barnes potentially starting up top, maybe Jacob Murphy. Maybe that's why Eddie Howe's gone with that front three, because he can alternate all three of them players in different positions. But with Alexander Isak out with a broken toe, that is a big blow today for Newcastle United. On the bench for them today, they've got Martin Dubravka, the goalkeeper. Along with him, they've got Lloyd Kelly, Valentino Livramento, Emil Kraft, Alex Murphy, Joe Willock, Sean Longstaff, William Osulu, and Miguel Almiron. For Manchester City, we've also got a very experienced team. So Newcastle's average age at 28.6 years. Manchester City's average age at 28.4 years. So Newcastle just 28.3 years, City with 28.4 years, having just about a little bit more experience in their team. Manchester City lining up today with what I believe will be a 4-2-3-1 formation, which when City are on the ball, you're going to see a lot of inverting going on, and that potentially could go with a back three. So it could be more of a 3-4-2-1 formation. We will see. So City starting today with Ederson in goal. The back four made up of captain Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias, Manuel Akanji, and Josko Gvardiol. I presume with that back three that Josko Gvardiol is going to be given a little more freedom on that left-hand side, so you're going to see Akanji go more towards that left side of centre-back, Diaz going through the middle, and Kyle Walker on the right-hand side. Alternatively, Kyle Walker could be providing some overlaps and trying to get forward, to which point expect to see Josko Gvardiol potentially pivoting back for Manchester City, or Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis does start today in midfield for Manchester City. It could be a case where Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias and Josko Gvardiol start as the back three, and Akanji goes into defensive midfield to support Rico Lewis and Mateo Kovacic, with Ilkay Gundogan also starting in midfield. It does seem slightly negative for Manchester City, given the fact that out wide you've got Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish starting, two players who aren't exactly going to be bombing forward and, acting as out-and-out wingers for Manchester City. They're two very midfield-based defensive wingers, which at any one point you could see Grealish cutting into midfield and tracking back, and the same can be said for Bernardo Silva potentially going out wide, and this is where I'd have preferred for one of Phil Foden or Kevin De Bruyne, if he was fit today, to be starting, that if Bernardo Silva does drift more into a deeper role or into midfield, you've got another player to come and play out wide to stretch the pitch for Manchester City. So wing backs today I think are crucial for Josko Gvardiol and Kyle Walker, through trying to get forward, to get into good positions, to try and offer that width for Manchester City, that all-important width. But, I read the team out and I say Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Akanji, Gvardiol, Lewis, Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo and Jack Grealish. It does come across as slightly negative, and I can understand why there is quite a bit of concern about Manchester City's team today. However, I think City are very conscious of Newcastle away from home, very good side, like to attack, like to get forward. You need to ensure that we keep this nice and close and nice and tight. We've not got Rodri. We've not got Kevin De Bruyne. So we don't want to be overran in midfield, missing two world-class central midfielders. How are you able to cope with that, where you go in with more options you can cut into midfield? Because at any one stage, you could be seeing Man City go in potentially with a 4-5-1, potentially even a 3-6-1 from Manchester City, depending on what's happening in the game. Erling Haaland starts up top, and the main danger man that Newcastle really need to keep an eye on and try and keep quiet. My concern is I would have liked a little bit more oomph out wide from City. I would have gone with Savinho and Doku if it's up to me, just to try and keep the fullbacks of Newcastle busy, that they don't feel like they want to get forward. I feel like City's teams maybe inviting themselves on to a little bit of pressure. I'm not sure. We'll see. Pep Guardiola gets paid big money to make these decisions. I'm not going to sit here and argue about Pep Guardiola's decisions, but as fans, we are entitled to our opinions. It's not the team I would have gone for. Kieran Trippier is getting no younger. I'd have liked to have seen Doku having a run at him. Might be a tactical bit of genius from Pep Guardiola that he chucks Doku on later on to have a run at Kieran Trippier when he's getting more tired. But Eddie Howe's a really good manager and Newcastle are a really good team. They start to smell any weakness from their team. Substitutes and stuff will come into play to keep the squad nice and fresh. So this looks like, to me, it's going to be a very close game from City. And City seem hell-bent today on just trying to come out of St James's Park with a clean sheet, in the hope that we can have that opportunity to go out there and score goals. And overrunning that midfield could be a really good way to go about it, because I look at Newcastle's team going with 3 very quick attacking players. If City are going to sit slightly deeper in this game, that will nullify that. And then if you're going to overrun that midfield, albeit Newcastle have got 3 very good midfielders in Bruno, Sando Tonali and Joelinton, I just think that it could get overrun at any time. And I suspect that you're going to see a very busy game today for Kieran Trippier and Lewis Hall trying to get forward. And I imagine that the job of Fabian Schar and Dan Burn is to deal with balls into the box and to try and man-mark Erling Haaland out of this game. But Fabian Schar and Dan Burn aren't the quickest of players, so if City can get Haaland playing off the front foot rather than his back to goal, then that could be a really good outlet into the game. Could be a really close game, very interesting game. We'll see what direction it does go into. On the bench for Manchester City today, got Stefan Ortega-Moreno, Scott Carson, John Stones, Matheus Nunes, Phil Foden, James McAtee, Savinho and Jeremy Doku. Already spoken about Savinho and Jeremy Doku. Matheus Nunes impressed me in midweek, in particular in that first half for Manchester City. Wasn't expecting him to start, but certainly an option in midfield for City today from the bench and could get some minutes. Johnny Stones as well, starting the last game and doing a full 90 minutes. Doesn't surprise me that he's not starting in this game. He featured against Arsenal, grabbed that all-important equaliser for us. I wouldn't be starting him in this game. I'd be starting him in that match midweek against Slovan Bratislava, and I'd be looking to try and alternate with Mateo Kovacic just to try and keep both Johnny Stones and Kovacic injury-free, because them, to me, are the 2 most likely players that we've got to Rodri. And Pep Guardiola's already spoken about his concerns about long balls coming in and dealing with the second ball and not having the physical presence and height of Rodri. Well, if you've got a team that's going to be really physical, you'd go with John Stones, but we decided to start John Stones and give 90 minutes to him midweek, rather than thinking about the physical presence that Newcastle offer with long balls over the top, including dealing with the likes of the physicality from someone like Joelinton. But here we are. Phil Foden, not starting. Said in my preview I wouldn't have started him. He didn't do enough midweek against Watford to warrant a start. In fact, I was more impressed with McAtee than I was with Phil Foden in that game. Phil Foden, we need him to start hitting form, and soon. Kevin De Bruyne's injury, we don't know when he's going to be back. Pep keeps saying it's not serious, but game after game after game, here he is not making the matchday squad. I don't think he'll make the Slovan Bratislava game, and if he's not going to make that game, then to me, it's pointless playing him against Fulham, and ask Belgium not to call him up to the international duty to ensure that he has a full rest, that he's ready to go once we come back for the middle of October. So some poignant bits happening in this match that's going to have huge implications on the season. It's a really important team selection. I'd love to know your thoughts, guys, in the chat. So, in the chat, we've got more people tuning in, which is fantastic to see. Card says, any news on Oscar Bobb other than he's set to come back now in January rather than December? Don't have any more news on Oscar Bobb. Thank you very much to Sanko for tuning in from Sierra Leone. Reckon City grabbing 3 goals today, which I think would be absolutely brilliant. eFootball God says, our problem is conceding, which is, I think City are wary of that, which is why they're going with a slightly more negative team selection today than normal. Newcastle United away. St James's Park, they're a good team. They're in fine form. Yeah, they lost the last game, but form before that looked pretty decent from Newcastle. And Newcastle know they win today. They go level on points. We've had a good start to the season, yet Newcastle win today. They're level on points with us. So this is a big game. It's a very important game for Manchester City. So I think City are just exercising an era of caution here, which is very un-Manchester City-like. And I think it's maybe just making people feel a little uneasy. But as I said, if we can keep Newcastle to 0 today, I'm confident we can create at least one really good opportunity and win this game. Got the most clinical, best striker in the world in Erling Haaland. Need to get him involved in this game as far as I'm concerned. I'm just concerned that he could look a little isolated. So someone like Gundogan could be really key playing behind the striker and that link-up play, and you could see Gundogan maybe even doing a double pivot. You could be seeing Kovacic doing a double pivot, or Rico Lewis. Big game for Rico Lewis once more starting. How's he going to perform in midfield? I'd say there's less responsibility defensively from him today than what we normally see with Kyle Walker starting as well. Kovacic, Card says, a really good player to have when Rodri is out. He's been in good form. He's looked really good. He's a little injury prone, so we need to protect him. That's why I said I'd be alternating him with John Stones game on game, so they're not doing back-to-back games all the time and run the risk of getting tired or, more seriously picking up any kind of injury. We need to protect them two players as far as I'm concerned. Stone says the current head-to-head record for the teams are Newcastle United with 3 wins, Man City with 25 wins and 3 draws. Confident that he can go out there and Manchester City can win this game, which record is fantastic. Newcastle, though, pushing Manchester City closer and closer and closer. It's a good team with a good manager away from home. Won't be an easy game, this. I know City's record against Newcastle is very good. Our record under Pep Guardiola against Arsenal is very good as well, yet we didn't win that game either. So, important game of football. Could go either way. I'm hoping City can edge this. I'm going 2-1 still. Manchester City is my score prediction. Jamie, thanks for tuning in. Says, due to City scoring a lot of goals, would it be wise for teams to create a kick-off attack set piece? Is this the future? I think teams, when you play against City, you've got to absorb City. You've got to have a bit of patience. We're seeing quite a few teams trying to do a smash and grab. Ipswich did it. Brentford did it. Newcastle might try it here. I don't think, when you're scoring that early in the game, I don't think it has much of an impact on the match because City have got so much quality. I mean, it's great for the teams that are playing against us from their point of view to go ahead in the game, but it becomes a very long 90 minutes when you're having to sit back and defend deep. And if you're wanting to get forward, you're allowing City space. So it's not a wise thing to do to attack Manchester City, to look to score and try and score again. It is doable, and Brentford came damn close to scoring 2 or 3 in the first 10 minutes. Newcastle will have watched that game and think we might have a go at that, but look at the match against the Etihad when we was playing Arsenal. It was City that came out of the blocks flying. It was City that wanted that opening goal, and the opening goal normally is very crucial in a big Premier League game, and the same can be said here. First team to score here is crucial. Newcastle are a good defensive team as well. They score first, won't be an easy game. And with the City lineup that we've got today, we score first, not going to be an easy game for Newcastle either. So, very interesting, very interesting. That one guy, thanks for tuning in, says, does Jack start? Jack Grealish does start for Manchester City on the left wing. Alexander Isak for Newcastle does not start. He's not in the squad, got a broken toe. He's out for this game. Philip, thanks for tuning in, says, well, mate, thoughts on No Phil? He's not impressed me enough to be starting this game. He's a huge, big game player with an abundance of quality. I think he's got off to a little bit of a slow start so far this season, and we need to see more consistency from Foden. We need to see him hitting the heights that he's capable of. He looks like he's lacking a little bit of sharpness, and he looks like he's lacking maybe a little bit of confidence. It will come in time, no doubt about that. It doesn't help with these international breaks with players, playing every 3 to 4 days for 3 or 4 weeks. And then you stop for 2 weeks, and then you go again for 3 to 4 weeks, then you stop again for 2 weeks. It's so difficult. It is so difficult for Foden. And he came back to City, kind of hit the ground running, picks up his illness. It stalled him. It's going to take a little bit of time. He just needs that one game to get him back into his swagger, once he's got going, I think, you know, a run of 2, 3, 4 games in a row where he's starting and impressing, and it'll be like he's never been away. So he's got the quality, just needs a little bit of time, needs to apply himself, and I want to see a little bit more from Phil Foden. Forson, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Hello, Justin. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated as well. Philip, thank you for the reminder. There we go, all sorted for you. Odin, thanks for tuning in. Going for a 3-2 victory for City today, which was my original prediction of Premier League Classic. But going off the teams, I've had to knock off a couple of goals because I think it's going to be a very tight, close game. So I'm now going 2-1 rather than 3-2. I'd like it to be goals galore. Still might. We'll have to wait and see. Stone says, in which time do you think Newcastle was more frightening, before or after the oil money? They've always been a big team, and obviously they've got more financial muscle now that they can go out and sign bigger and better players. Now, the Newcastle team under Alan Shearer was a brilliant team. The team from the early 2000s was a very good team as well. I have a lot of respect for Newcastle, and I hate that term, calling a club an oil team, an oil money team, that the only reason that they're being successful is that they're being funded for by somebody else, because nobody starts pointing fingers at Manchester United, at Liverpool, who have got American owners, and just call them an American team, because that's kind of what people do with City and with Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain. You know, all these big teams have got rich owners with a lot of money who can all pound for pound match each other. So I get it if you're a team that's got a local owner who looks at the money that's coming into these big top Premier League teams, but from one Premier League team to another team, I've never really got it, as far as I'm concerned. In terms of them offering something on the pitch, I mean that team under Sir Bobby Robson and having Alan Shearer was a tremendous Newcastle team. I'm not too sure if you ever watched them during that era, but they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Never really came away with loads and loads of success, but they were always an entertaining team to watch. And Alan Shearer lives and breathes Geordie and Newcastle. So I have tremendous respect for Newcastle. I like the club. I like the city. I don't really have many bad words to say about Newcastle, and I think I reckon probably 4 or 5 signings away from being able to compete in the Premier League. But consistency is key. They've shown that they're like Aston Villa, a bit of consistency, they're capable of breaking the top 4. So we'll see. They've got off to a good start as well. It's not going to be an easy game, this, for City, as teams have made their way out of the tunnels and onto the pitch today. Justin not starting because Phil Foden's not starting, that is. He's not starting because his form's just not been up to scratch, is what I'm presuming with. Dave, thanks for tuning in. Says, nice to see the whole game before Warrington managed to kick off. Wire, that's the nickname of Warrington. Says, best of luck to City. Thank you very much. Hoping City can win, and hopefully Warrington can as well. Getting towards Rugby League playoff season. If not, might already have started, I'm not sure. Nadir says, something personal going on with Foden. If there is something personal, and it is just that, personal, so that's Phil Foden's business. Julia, thanks for tuning in, says, let's beat Newcastle. Thanks for tuning in, Julia, much appreciated. Geffin, thanks for tuning in, says, I think they should always put Bernardo Silva in midfield and start either one of Savinho or Jeremy Doku. It's what I'd have gone for, but Pep Guardiola hasn't. I'm not too sure where the whip's coming from today. Be interesting to see tactically from City. Maybe it's a change from Pep Guardiola. We'll have to wait and see. Malusi, thanks for tuning in. Says it'll be interesting to see how City respond without Rodri, but thinks that we have always going to have the 5 and 7s. All the 5 was without Rodri. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I expect that you're probably going to see a double pivot, which John Stones normally helps provide that along with Kovacic, but with how injury prone it is, I don't think it's wise to go with both of them players. starting consecutive games as John Stones started the last game, as we do have kick-off here between Newcastle and Manchester City. Newcastle attacking from left to right, playing in their home shirts of the black and white stripes, black shorts and black socks. Manchester City playing in their home shirts today of sky blue shirts, white shorts, and it's white socks today, with City attacking from right to left as Josko Gvardiol's just barged off the ball, and there could be an opening opportunity here for Newcastle, and shot comes in, a high foot goes in on Rico Lewis, he goes down, and that will be a free kick for Manchester City. So Newcastle going nice and physical, trying to make an early statement for City, a free kick for City, and we can slow the tempo of this game down a little. Philip says, I do think it'll be a close game today, especially with Newcastle having a very good midfield. Tonali, Bruno, G and Joelinton's a very good midfield. And Julia, spot on. Absolutely spot on. All the Premier League owners have all got tremendous amounts of money. They all get them from different sources of income. Some get them from others. I don't get it. I do not get it. And Malusi says, yeah, football's a business, wherever they're from in the world, yeah. It's part of their investment portfolio as Ederson comes in and claims the ball there for Manchester City. Newcastle just trying to be nice and aggressive and positive here in the opening exchanges. So City just need to be a little tighter, to look open. It's all fine going with the extra midfielders, but no one's tracking back there. There's space. And City are being pressed, so City just need to manage this part of the game. Didier doesn't reckon City are winning today. Newcastle again, just going aggressive in on Josko Gvardiol. Anthony Gordon it is going in hard. Challenges going in. I mentioned in the Arsenal game, Michael Oliver wanted control of that game. He needed to dish out early yellow cards. He never did that. And because he never did that, once you get to like the 15-20 minute mark, you know, players are already on last warnings. Yellow cards come in left, right and centre for the real limited minor things. And to have control and aggressive challenges come in. I'm not accusing Newcastle of trying to rough City up and trying to injure our players, but they've been very physical. And I'd like to see a little more protection from the referee. Just, you know, that's a potentially very nasty challenge from Anthony Gordon. Bruno G's high foot on Rico Lewis, potentially very nasty as well. Yellow card or two, all of a sudden, you know, you set up. You let Newcastle know and you let the team know that, you know, you're not putting up with it. You're going to get a yellow card early on and it's not going to happen. And for the rest of the game, the player has to be careful and it stops that happening. But here we are. Manchester City fan, thanks for tuning in. I've not seen any other comment in the chat from you, my friend, to read out. But thanks for tuning in. And Justin Yeffel had a very good season last season. Needs to apply himself this season. As we're through the first 3 minutes here. So don't forget, leave a thumbs up. We are aiming for 100 likes, nearly halfway there. 58 likes to go. Do subscribe if you're new around here and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Here's Jack Grealish then into the penalty area. Has an early shot, headed clear by Fabian Schar. Back to Grealish once more. So he is on the left wing today, Grealish, with Josko Gvardiol supporting him. Here's Akanji now. Newcastle got everybody back, defending deep. Like the Arsenal game last weekend. Work to the right wing then is Bernardo Silva. He's interestingly receiving support from Rico Lewis on the right-hand side. Ruben Dias works it to Grealish then. 4 minutes in. Bit of defending for Newcastle to do. Grealish just trying to open up Newcastle. Had a bit of space, goes to Akanji. He has a shot and it's just wide and out for the first corner of the game. Takes a small deflection. I wonder if maybe City have been working this week in training on the defenders getting in a bit of space on the edge of the penalty area, working on their shooting, because we saw time and time again around the 18 to 25 yard area, the Manchester City defenders getting in acres of space to have shots which weren't very good. Akanji's shot, not a bad effort, as Philip says, it's not a bad effort. Had it not taken the deflection, that could have been sneaking onto the inside of the post and in, keeping it low. Good effort from Akanji. First corner, Dias forward. Haaland's in there. Gundogan to take. He takes it short. Grealish back to Gundo. Goes for the back post. And Newcastle managed to deal with the danger there. Not the best of balls in from Ilkay Gundogan, if I'm being honest. And Newcastle can put their foot through that and get that clear. They've got Bruno G in a little bit of space. He's just brushed off it, though, by Manchester City captain Kyle Walker. Confirmed by Pep Guardiola as Man City's captain for the season, with Kevin De Bruyne, Manchester City's vice-captain. Further support coming in from Ruben Dias, from Rodri, of course, with him having the season-ending injury with his ACL injury, means that he's going to miss the season. It's good to see Ilkay Gundogan back on the captain's list for Manchester City, as well as City just knocking it around from the back. Thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Whilst there's not too much happening in the game, I do want to speak about a new thing that I'm going to be working on and trying for you guys. I'll speak about that in just 1 second as a through ball comes into Haaland, who has Man City's first shot on target today after 6 minutes. Comfortable save there for Nick Pope. Just one through ball comes into Haaland in a little bit of space on his stronger left foot. Just takes it with one touch. Makes the connection. It's always worthwhile having a shot and testing the goalkeeper. I think Nick Pope, if he's going to have shots at him today, will be very happy if that's all he's going to be tested with. As he sends the ball long, should be dealt with by Josko Gvardiol and is, and headed out of play for a throw into Newcastle just inside Manchester City's half. So yeah, I'm going to be working with a new streaming platform. It's called Big Up, formerly known as Tifo. Some of you guys may have come across it before. I'm not too sure. But I'm going to be working with Big Up to be providing some match analysis for you guys to enjoy, which is a brilliant opportunity. So basically, I'll put the link in the description. That's where you can find my page and you can follow me on there. It's free to sign up. It's free to check out. And basically, it runs just like these live streams. I'm going to be doing some analysis. I'm planning on them to last around 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to be running a stream at 2 p.m. BST tomorrow, speaking about all the talking points and tactical stuff that's happening from this game. And I'd really appreciate some of you guys tuning in with me. You're able to join in with the chat. I can put you in separate rooms to be able to speak with each other, help to really build up the community. You can send emojis and GIFs or GIFs to each other. Yeah, it looks really cool and really exciting, so do go and check that out. That would be much appreciated. And do go and follow me on Big Up. First stream going live tomorrow, 2 p.m. BST, with the talking points from this game, and I'm planning to run them after every single Manchester City game. I will be doing some watch-alongs on there, not Manchester City ones. I'm going to leave that to YouTube for you guys, but other games for you guys. So if you've got any games that you want me to react to and do live watch-alongs for, just give me a shout. I'll get a stream set up on Big Up and I'll run it over there. As I said, it's a fantastic opportunity. It looks really good for community building, so do go and check that out. That would be much appreciated. It's got like a tactics board. I can do all the arrows and everything that's happening. Looks mint. Looks really cool. Rightio then. City attacking on the right-hand side. Newcastle camped in their own half. City just move it from right to left. Jack Grealish takes a good touch. Got the support of Josko Gvardiol just ahead of him. Doesn't use him. He's got a safer pass to Akanji. He goes further than that and goes to Ruben Dias. Here's Kovacic. Takes a heavy touch. Inviting pressure from Anthony Gordon. Forces Kovacic to go back to goalkeeper Ederson. Ruben Dias just checks Anthony Gordon there. He knows what he's doing as Ederson plays a back heel, a dangerous back heel to Kyle Walker. In the end, finds him. It's all a bit City being pressed and forced to send it long, looking for Erling Haaland. He can take a touch, and it's a poor touch from Haaland and out of play for a throw into Newcastle. All from the Newcastle press that. I mean, we've got a goalkeeper here playing a back heel, guys. Which is incredible. City managed to just take the sting out of it and work the ball back to Ederson through 10 minutes here at St James's Park, 0-0. Nothing too concerning for either teams. Newcastle have tried to put pressure and press City. Been a couple of rough challenges coming in the first opening exchanges of the game. Haaland's had a shot that went off target. Akanji's tried a shot from just inside the area. Took a deflection, went out for a corner. Nothing else happening. Just a very careful game of football at the moment. Ederson then goes with a pass forward, finds Haaland just about, and his pass is poor. It's 2 now from Haaland, a poor touch and a really poor pass. Giving the ball away for City when, you know, they're using Haaland to drop deep and pick up the ball in spaces. Haaland's got to be better, do better with the ball there. Newcastle just working it out to the left. Lewis Hall sends it down the channel. Good work from Kyle Walker and Rico Lewis combined. Rico Lewis can't quite take the touch and Bruno G will be all over that and he's going to play one ball forward here. Early ball across comes in and that's a good bit of defending there from Josko Gvardiol. I think defensively, even though we're only 6 games into the Premier League, I think Josko Gvardiol's looked much sharper defensively for City this season than what we saw last. Second half of the season, Josko Gvardiol really came into his own and I think offensively showed what he could do. He's obviously been looking to try and improve defensively his game and obviously with him being a centre-back rather than a left-back, you know, his first and foremost, his job is to defend and I think defensively he's looked better this season than last. Philip says, not the greatest of starts from us to be fair, it's just a slow build-up game. I was more concerned about Newcastle flying out of the blocks and City conceding early like we saw in the Ipswich and Brentford games at home. It hasn't happened. So patience could be key. First goal scorer today I think is huge. I really do. I think that's huge. Here is Kyle Walker then for Manchester City. Got Bernardo Silva spreading the play on the right wing. Uses Ruben Dias through the middle instead. Here's Rico Lewis. Just plays the ball back to Kovacic. Akanji to Josko Gvardiol. You start to see Akanji going more into midfield as Josko Gvardiol just nearly gave the ball away. Grealish manages to mop it up and keep City in possession. I mean, City have been in possession here now for a couple of minutes and not really made it past the 40 yards out from Newcastle's goal. They're not really going anywhere or doing much. There's a lot of backwards and sideways passing. Creatively got to be on it. Don't be scared to attempt a risky pass or two. Trust the defence to do their job if the ball gets given away in a position that Newcastle fancy. Got to have that bit of creativity. You can't just keep passing it and moving it sideways in the hope that something happens because, you know, maybe later in the game it might tire the Newcastle legs out, but, you know, we're not going anywhere as ball comes in. Gundogan looked like he was late. Referee wants to blow the whistle and that's a good bit of defending there, but Newcastle can still find the pass here and Walker's got a bit of work to do. It's not the best of passes. Forces Joelinton wide and Newcastle have got to turn and exchange some passes around the edge of the City penalty area and just in a flash of a pan there, within 5 seconds, Newcastle go from defending deep in their own area to on the edge of the City penalty area. They're definitely prepared for the counter-attack today. And Newcastle's got a bit of space here. Shot comes in. It's a good block from Manchester City from the hip of Jack Grealish. And out for the Newcastle's first corner of the game. Shot came in from his England teammate Kieran Trippier. And out for a corner. Grealish is hurt. He stayed down. Good defending in the end from City, that. Several bodies back. I think Kyle Walker did a good bit of defending just to force Newcastle to turn. It weren't the best of passes, but Walker just held his ground well and forced Newcastle's hand. Daniel says City struggling without Rodri. Nadir not happy, says so poor from City. This lineup was never going to work. I think Pep's experimenting with the team. I don't think he knows what to do without Rodri, and it's going to take him a bit of time to try and figure it out. I don't get why he didn't just stick with what we were doing during the first part of the season when we didn't have Rodri because he needed a rest. As ball comes in from the corner, Newcastle win the first header, they win the second header, they don't manage to get any direction on it, it just loops up twice and out into the hands of Ederson, and Man City survive from the corner. I think defensively City have looked more, I've been reassured from these first 15 minutes defensively from City. I think that's mainly helping because I think Kyle Walker's having a pretty good game so far. And I've been on the back of Kyle Walker a couple of times. I've wanted to see more from him. It's so difficult for these players who've been at the international tournaments that have had no pre-season, though. So difficult as Newcastle into another good position. City just holding their shape. A ball comes across. Managed to get a foot on it and get it clear. Not the best of balls in from Newcastle. They're going to try down this right-hand side again. Tonali provides an overlap. He's got a chance to put a ball in, and that's going to go out for a throw-in to Newcastle. Good defending from Josko Gvardiol once more. Daniel says, do I think City will go into January to replace Rod? Well, Pep Guardiola mentioned that in his press conference, didn't he? He said he's not ruling it out. He didn't rule it out in the summer. I think it's clear he wants another midfielder. I mean, I don't think Gundogan was ever going to be that option. I think City have just brought Gundogan in because they had the possibility of bringing him back. I don't think he's seen as that Rodri alternative for City. As Akanji, Kyle Walker just steps forward and that's a free kick to Newcastle. City just wary of the quick free kicks like Arsenal wanted to take last weekend. Going to force Newcastle into putting balls into the box instead, which I think City have been working on dealing with balls into the box in training, it seems. I can see City doing some business if the right deal is there. I think teams, as soon as City come in for any defensive midfielders in January, though, teams are just going to start putting 10, 15, 20 million pound on the value, knowing that City are going to have to pay it because they need to replace Rodri. So going for a temporary option on a loan may make sense, but it's not how City tend to do their business. So I can see City maybe just taking these few months to try and identify another player as Newcastle put a ball into the box, headed clear by Kyle Walker. Gundogan can get his head onto it and get it further clear out of the Manchester City penalty area. Only played forward, though, to Anthony Gordon. He's got a chance to put a ball into the box. He does. Newcastle can take a touch through Tonali. City get a foot on it and get it clear. Rene says replace Rodri with Wilfred Ndidi. I saw someone saying go for N'Golo Kante. I think they're missing his presence physically. You know, Rodri's, what is he, like 6'3"? Could really do with a good option. I mean, John Stones is my replacement for Rodri. He's just not... injury-wise, I just don't think he's there. It'd be a great like for like. I can't see them going with a ball playing smaller defender. It never worked for Calvin Phillips, so I couldn't see it working with any others either. So I'm not sure who the player could be. Retro, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's going fine, thank you. And Rene, thanks for tuning in. How are you as well? I'm good, thanks for asking. I think Newcastle are just starting to grow in confidence here. Gundogan just took a poor touch a minute ago and gave the ball away for City. I think Gundogan, since he's come back, looked a little leggy for City. And City then give the ball away. Is it a foul throw? What is the referee doing? Daniel, it will be rusty. It'll take time. It'll take the whole of next season for him to hit the heights that he can hit. You got to manage these injuries. You don't want it to reoccur either. So the City have got to bear that in mind. They really do have to bear that in mind when it comes to looking for an alternative to Rodri. Nobody's talking about Rodri might not be the same player ever again. That's how serious the injury can be. Players have picked up ACL injuries before and come back and ended up not being the same player. That could be the case for Rodri. I hope it isn't. I think Virgil van Dijk's had an ACL injury before, and it took him a little bit of time, but he came back as good as ever. So there's two ways of looking at it, but you need them options whilst you've not got Rodri here, and we know that we're not going to have Rodri for the next year. So Kovacic goes in hard, gets the ball, does well, needs that space. There's the space. Grealish knows where it is and gets a good free kick as well. Do I reckon City will win this game? I hope so. I'm going 2-1 City today. Retro says, do I reckon City get Musiala, Arsenal get Wirtz? Musiala will be a very expensive transfer. We'll have to see if he wants to leave Bayern first. And then, in terms of Wirtz, all kinds of rumours circulating. The closest information we've had from Wirtz camp, and I think this is true, is he wants to stay in Germany. I think there's a reason why he's not asked for a move away from Leverkusen. I don't think Bayern are in a position to bring him in, and that's the only other place he could go to in Germany. Players playing in the Bundesliga, they want to go to Bayern Munich. They want to play for Bayern Munich. Musiala we have a bit of an advantage with, because whilst he's German born and he's playing for Bayern Munich, he grew up in England, so he knows what England's like. So he will be back in 8 to 9 months. Pep Guardiola said that they're going to give him time. They don't want to rush him back. The recovery time's 6 to 9 months. Free kick from City. Comes in. Header won by Newcastle. And a free kick given to Newcastle as well for a push from Akanji, I think it was. I think City will just give him as long as possible. I think it'll be longer than 9 months, because you rush to bring Rodri back. It could have devastating impacts on the rest of his career. I think City will be very careful with his recovery. It's a very serious injury. It's the worst case scenario in terms of a knee injury. Odin not happy with how City have been playing. It looks disjointed, doesn't it? And you fancy City are one mistake away from going behind, and some of the distribution's not been great. They've struggled a little bit with Newcastle's pressing game. I think City have been a little bit too respectful of Newcastle, and changing things up because you're going to St James's Park. It doesn't suit. I'd have just stuck with how what we played with Chelsea away and at West Ham away. It worked, and we didn't have Rodri for them games either. So, yeah. And as Nadir says, he's not going to change it till later in the game, if at all he does change it. Philip says, disappointed not to see Doku or Savinho not started. I'd have started him. But here we are. There you go. Fofana had it. It's 8 to 10 months. Takes time. Takes time to recover. So, guys, we're halfway to 100 likes now. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. You can also use the QR code on screen to download the free SofaScore app. Or you can use the link in the live chat as well. As Newcastle play a ball forward. And again, good defending from Josko Gvardiol. I think it's gone out for a corner. Murphy will get him forward, trying to use his pace. Good defending from Josko Gvardiol. Really good defending. But more defending for City to do now. And City have been on the back foot a lot here in the last few minutes. Hall puts the ball into the box, and that flicks around, and that goes out for what I think is another corner. It does. Dangerous ball in. Good ball in that from Newcastle City. Didn't fully deal with that, and that's going to be a corner this time on the opposite side. Haaland got a flick on, and then it hits the back of Jack Grealish's head. Could have gone anywhere, that. Thankfully, not into the back of our own net, and out for another corner for Newcastle. Ruben Dias just trying to organise the defence there with his shorts pulled right up. Corner comes in, looking for that back post, and Newcastle get a flick on, and City can deal with it. Clearly, Newcastle's been working on them set pieces. Looked at what Arsenal could do for them set pieces. They're defending on them inside that 6-yard box. Nearly caused City some problems there. We've survived, and Jack Grealish does what Jack Grealish does. Gets a free kick. And the first yellow card for a cynical foul as well. Doesn't need to make that challenge, Fabian Schar. Blue Boy, thanks for tuning in and much appreciated. Thank you for subscribing. Daniel, would I take Zubimendi in January? Good player. Got a good release clause, 60 million euros. I won't say no. Philip says the only thing about Rodri is his game wasn't fully built on his pace, so it might make his recovery a bit easier. It will, yeah. He was always about distribution. He's about physicality. He's a very strong player. So I think the only hold-up he'll have in terms of his recovery is building up the strength back up in his knee. So there'll be a period of physiotherapy and rehabilitation. He's well looked after. You know, City are pumping a lot of money into the recovery, as that's a lovely touch from Rico Lewis. Haaland then plays it to Bernardo, and there's a bit of space for the first time, and Ilkay Gundogan can't sort his touch out, and he felt like the ball was just slightly behind him and doesn't make a clean contact, and out for a goal kick to Newcastle. Bertram, thanks for tuning in. Says, not looking great. I think we're all in the agreement here that it's not clicked well from City. I think Gundogan was unhappy there. He wanted that pass earlier towards the edge of the penalty area for him just to put his foot through. And Bernardo just held on to it for a second too long for Gundogan's liking, and he couldn't make a clean contact, and ball was slightly behind him. So Newcastle now just working the ball out from the back. Kieran Trippier works it to Murphy on the right. Once more, Kieran Trippier just gives it to Fabian Schar, and here's that long ball forward from Newcastle that Pep was speaking about. Excuse me. Doesn't connect in the end. Looking for Harvey Barnes. Cut off by Ederson. And Jack Grealish goes to ground. City, well, he wanted a free kick. Haaland managed to mop that up, and here's Gundogan, plays a good pass to Bernardo Silva now. What can Bernardo do? Edge of the penalty area, shot comes in, and his back post, and that's well defended. Haaland was just sneaking in at the back post there, and Kieran Trippier manages to defend that out, and that'll be a corner to Manchester City. Haaland just brushes Dan Burn off there, like he wasn't even there. Good show of strength from Erling Haaland. A good pass from Gundogan. Bernardo Silva's shot takes a deflection. It just flirted its way through to the back post, and Haaland was waiting for the tap-in. It was some strength from Haaland there. And it's really good defending from Kieran Trippier at the back post. Gundogan then to take this corner. City have hired a set-piece coach. Let's see if we can make that pay dividends. Ball comes in, looking for the near post, headed clear by Newcastle. Only as far as Grealish. Gives the ball back to Gundogan. Another ball comes in, and it's well defended this time. Akanji stayed forward, chests it down, looking for Josko Gvardiol, and his touch is heavy and out for a goal kick. I think we could all do with some Haaland goals for our fantasy Premier League, Rene. We all could. Right, we're through 28 minutes into the 29th. Make sure if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe. Do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. And do leave a thumbs up, as we're now just 45 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing a live stream over on a new platform called Big Up, formerly known as Tifo. Some of you guys may have come across it. I'm just going to leave the link to my channel in there where you can go and follow me. It is free to sign up and follow me on there. I'm going to be doing some post-match analysis and speaking about this game and the formations and going more into detail. Doing that live stream tomorrow from 2 PM BST. And I would appreciate any of you guys checking that out. I'm planning on doing regular streams over on Big Up when it comes to my more of my match analysis going on after each game. So if anyone could check that out and follow me on there, then that would be absolutely great. It's great for interaction. You can use your emojis, your GIFs, and you can interact with each other. Good place for the community. So do go and join me on there. That would be absolutely brilliant. I am available to do live watch-alongs for other games on there as well. City's live watch-alongs stay here on YouTube, but any other live watch-alongs of any games that you guys want me to do, just let me know through my social media or in the chat or comments or what's not, and I'll see what I can do. Retro says there's no replacement for Rodri, so it doesn't get City fans. No offence, you say Frankie de Jong or Rice or Kimmich, closest thing you'll get to him, but they all cost 100 million plus. They do. There is no replacement for Rodri. You don't replace the best defensive midfielder in the world. When you're bringing a player in, you've got to think about, when you sign this player, how do you play this player when Rodri is playing? Because otherwise you just end up with Calvin Phillips 2.0. So you don't replace Rodri in that aspect. You replace him with a player who can complement him really well. I think that's where Zubimendi is a good option. Plays alongside Rodri with Spain. In terms of other options, I don't even know where you'd go with other options. In an ideal world, you'd want someone from the Premier League who's Premier League proven, that you know that they're not having to adapt to the team as well. It's where someone like Bruno G would have made perfect sense for City. Offer something a little bit different. He could play in the place of Rodri, and if Rodri is playing, they can both play and do other roles. So there we go. Philip says, I have to say, really impressed with Haaland today. He's getting in on chat. He looks so motivated. Like he's ready for the physical battle, as Kyle Walker makes a good run there, but he's going nowhere. He has to go back to the keeper. He wanted some support and he didn't get it, as Ederson's passes so short, and Ruben Dias just let the ball go past him, and it's a nasty challenge on Ilkay Gundogan, and another yellow card comes out for a Newcastle player, Fabian Schar, into the book, and I think it's Bruno G into the book as well. And it is Bruno G for the late challenge on Ilkay Gundogan there. Just trips him up and he goes down. Really poor Philip from City at the back, really poor. So we've got just 13 minutes of the first half remaining. It's not been the best from City so far. I mean, we're only 30 minutes into the game, so I don't want to suggest it, but I'm just going to put the early suggestion out there. In particular, if I come back to this point towards the end of the stream, it's almost like Man City are happy with a 0-0. Keep things tight at the back, don't concede, and hope that a chance comes. But if a chance doesn't come, we're happy to come away from St James's Park, difficult ground to go to, with a point, and you know it's not the worst point in the world. You just want that momentum, and I think City just wait for that one chance. City do look a little flat in midfield. It's almost like all these players haven't played alongside each other so far this season, which is what we're kind of dealing with. There is zero creativity. Taylor, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Phil Foden's form's not been great, so I don't think he's been trusted here. Dare I suggest that, I feel like James McAtee might offer City something here in terms of creativity. That's a poor pass. Gundogan looks off. He looks miles away. I don't get it. He looks off the pace. He just looks half a yard slower than some of the other players. All this in midfield, it's just not working. We can all see that it's not working. Surely you've got to be seeing Phil Foden or James McAtee at some point. If I were Pep, I wouldn't be scared to make them subs at half time. Link up play in midfield. There's no support for Haaland. But I think City would just be happy to have some control, knock the ball around. And as I said, dare I suggest that City are happy with a 0-0. So anyway, here's Grealish into the area, and Josko Gvardiol turns! Who wants a 0-0? Josko Gvardiol makes it 1-0 Manchester City. There's that chance that we were just speaking about. And it's a well-taken goal. It's a lovely turn from Josko Gvardiol. And he just pokes it home. Patience. Patience from Manchester City. And there's the all-important opening goal. And it's the Croatian defender finding the goal for Manchester City. Tidy finish from Josko. Lovely pass. Is that an assist for Jack Grealish, guys? Super stuff from Jack Grealish and Josko Gvardiol. Really good from Josko Gvardiol. Showing his quality in attack. I said defensively he's looked much sharper and much better so far this season. We've not really seen much of him getting forward. That's like Josko Gvardiol the second half of last season. And there's the opening goal for City. 1-0. Come on. It was a beautiful, lovely weighted pass from Jack Grealish. Everyone's always getting on his back about the goals and assists from Jackie G. It was lovely stuff from Jackie G. It's what Pep gets paid the big money for. What do we know? It's not been City's best performance by any stretch, but it's enough for us to be ahead here. And there's that one chance, that well-taken goal. Got to keep it tight at the back. As I was saying before, you know, we want to keep a clean sheet. We come away from a clean sheet from St. James's Park today. We win this game. It's a lovely goal, Philip. Julia with full support there for Pepe G. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Not the best of passes. That should be dealt with by Ruben Dias, and he's barged and it's out for a corner, shoulder to shoulder. You see, I don't see the difference between Watford's disallowed goal and that. I didn't think Watford's goal should have been disallowed because I didn't think it was a free kick because it's aggressive and it's shoulder to shoulder. I think you should deal with it a little better. As I'm not too sure whose boot that is. Someone's cut their ankle, their sock and their ankle. Looks like it's a bit of a stinger. Erling Haaland. Haaland's hurt. Corner comes in. Dealt with by Erling Haaland's head. He heads it clear. Anthony Gordon then to Trippier. Another ball comes in. Keeper needs to shout. Akanji gets in his way there. City get it clear in the end. Newcastle just forced back. Good defending from City. Really good defending. John, thanks for tuning in. Daniel says, rather City win the league over Arsenal this season. Just doesn't want Arsenal winning it. I mean, their online fan presence has been a different level. That is safe to say since the City game on Sunday. Retro says, can't afford to watch due to TNT. I mean, the cost of watching football is astronomical here in the UK. You've got so many different broadcasters offering their games, and it's just crazy that they've not just got all games in as one package like lots of countries have abroad. Baffling, really baffling. But it was a very good goal. Lovely weighted pass from... There was a clip on the ankle of Haaland there. Hurt Haaland, just getting a replay of the injury. I don't see City getting 100 points. I think that season's just... I don't even know how you go about hitting 100 points. I'd be happy with 10 less, with 90. I think 90 could be enough to win the league. 90 is a very competitive score. Good ball out to Trippier. He's kept that in as well. And he can play a ball across, and it's left, and Bruno G just had it taken away from him the last second by Kovacic. Blocked by City. Gundogan gets his foot through it. 6 minutes plus whatever's to be added on left of this first half. City lead by a goal to nil thanks to a goal from Josko Gvardiol, and that's given away. And Gundogan here. Lob the keeper, Ilkay. Lob him. Oh, it's a poor effort. It's a poor effort from Ilkay Gundogan. Keeper is about 40 yards out from his line. His one pass is given away, and I felt like Gundogan He took 3-4 touches, didn't need to. David Beckham-esque was it against Wimbledon back in the 90s. That's what we needed there. Chipped, put your foot right through it. Don't even think about it. That was a chance, that, for City. Josko Gvardiol wanted a free kick there. Referee said no. Newcastle's got the ball back here in a real good position. Here's Anthony Gordon on the right wing. Cross comes in and Kyle Walker gets his chest onto that. Good defense. Do you know, Kyle Walker's looked much better today. He's looked much better. Julie, what has happened to Gundogan and Gundogold? I don't know. He takes his 1 touch, 2, 3... The 4th touch is where the shot comes in and the keeper's already backpedaling. Once he clears the defender, he should have just looked up and stopped and put his foot through it and chipped him. Prime Gundogan would. If the Premier League title was on the line, Gundogan would have scored then. He wants the big goals. Oh, it's a lovely ball though from Gundogan to Haaland and he can't sort his feet out there, Haaland. As Gundogan stepped in again and he's played the pass forward to Erling Haaland once more and Haaland doesn't read it. That's much better from Ilkay Gundogan. Much, much better. Lovely pass into the channel for Haaland. Haaland just couldn't sort his feet out. He steps up again. He makes the interception. I mean, could Gundogan have had a shot there? The pass wasn't great second time, but the through ball to Haaland was much better. I don't want Gundogan turning into prime David Beckham. I'm just comparing for the audience can't see what some people can't see what we're seeing. So when I'm describing, what I'm asking from Gundogan there is to do what Beckham. There's loads of examples of players scoring from 40, 50 yards and lobbing the keeper. It's just Beckham's is the most famous. That's what came to mind. I'm trying to think if there's any City examples of doing such a goal. Nothing that springs to mind. Sure, someone in the chat will let me know. Here's Grealish, though, in the penalty area. He's having a good game as well, Jackie G. And Akanji's having his shot and again blocked and out for a corner. Kevin De Bruyne. When did De Bruyne do it? Of course, Kevin De Bruyne has done it. I said Gundogan's looked off the pace. And John, that's just way too much information, my friend. Way too much. Corner then for City. Put your head on that. Headed clear. Said we've hired a set-piece coach. I'm yet to see the rewards that this new set-piece coach has had on City as Murphy just leaves Kovacic for pace and takes it to the byline, and City managed to keep that in play. Newcastle fans are crying for a handball. It looked like it came off his chest rather than his arm. I was waiting to see a replay of that. Weren't the best of balls in from Murphy. In the end, City survive and they can come away with the ball. No harm done, and 1 minute left of this half as we're now hitting 60 likes, so 40 likes to go to 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Do also go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. You can go and check them out. Links and details there in the description. You can also use the QR code on screen, or you can use the link in the live chat. It does help to support the future content created here on my channel. It's a brilliant app, and they're going to help me do my halftime analysis very soon. So here is Kyle Walker City, just happy to knock this ball around and get into half-time with the lead. Here's Grealish. Lots of one-touch football being played by Manchester City. Fourth official's got his board ready. Let's see, what do you reckon? I reckon 2 minutes. Lovely ball from Ederson to Josko Gvardiol. He slips, though. And Newcastle can get the ball back. Gundogan putting pressure on. Free kick given to Newcastle. Just one. Not even two. Just 1 minute added on here. So might well be the last chance of the half. And Newcastle probably going to send everyone forward here. Yeah, Kieran Trippier stood over it. They're going to send everybody into the penalty area and put a ball into the box for City to defend. So if City can defend this, we should get into half-time as an instruction comes in from one of the coaches at Newcastle. Is that one that's always appearing everywhere? I've forgotten his name. As a ball comes in, it is flicked on, and that's a lovely shot and a brilliant save from Ederson. And another shot comes in, it's ping-ponging around. City can scramble that one clear. That's Newcastle's biggest chance of the half, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Shot comes in, and wide. It takes a deflection off Walker and out for a corner. City scrambling there. Joelinton with the clean effort. It's a lovely save from Ederson. It's a brilliant save. So a corner here for Newcastle. Last bit of defending. Ball comes in. Not the best. Haaland heads that clear, and that will be the half-time whistle. I have to probably say that City are happy to hear that half-time whistle as well. So it is that goal from Josko Gvardiol that's the difference here between the two sides. And what has been... it's a bit of a very interesting game of football, definitely. But still plenty of work for Manchester City to do here in the second half. So, heading on to today's video sponsor, SofaScore. You can go and check it out. Links and details there in the description, in the live chat, or you can check out the QR code as well on screen. I'm just going to roll my promo video right now before I do my halftime match report. Anyway, thank you very much to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Much appreciated. Do go and check them out. Links and details, they are in the description. So, let's have a look then at the statistics. What are they telling us about this game? That is the big question. At the moment, it is just that one goal from Josko Gvardiol after 35 minutes. That is the difference. Manchester City are having more possession, 59% possession compared with 41% possession for Newcastle. Expected goal rate, not great. 0.4 for Newcastle and 0.3 for Manchester City. Probably tells you all you need to know. One big chance for City, nothing for Newcastle, but that big chance come in. My terms anyway, it was a big chance from Joelinton right at the end with a clean effort and a lovely save from Ederson and a needed save as well. Newcastle with 6 shots, Manchester City with 8 shots. 2 shots on target for Newcastle, a couple of saves for Ederson to make, and 3 shots on target for Manchester City with a couple of saves for Nick Pope to make, and of course that all-important goal from Josko Gvardiol. Corners, Newcastle have had more corners, 5 for them, 3 for Manchester City. Both keepers have had to make a couple of saves apiece. City have had more passes, 246 passes compared with 165 for Newcastle. 3 tackles for both sides, 5 free kicks for Newcastle, 8 for Manchester City, and at the moment we've seen 2 yellow cards in this game both fall into Newcastle players, and it is Bruno G with the yellow card for the foul on Gundogan and Fabian Schar with the yellow card as well for Newcastle United. In terms of having a look at the best efforts in the game, just having a look at where the shots have taken place. Very interesting. A lot of Newcastle's efforts are coming centre to goal and in and around the penalty area. So nothing inside the 6-yard box, but plenty just inside the penalty area, with one effort coming from outside the penalty area as well. For Manchester City, most of our shots are coming right on the edge of the penalty area. So Newcastle playing a very strong defensive line, yet it's Man City have only really found one outlet through finding space, and that's through Josko Gvardiol. Took a very clean turn to take it from his left foot, where Newcastle were expecting the shot to come in on his stronger left foot, moves it onto his right foot and plays a tidy finish into the back of the net. And that is the fine margin here and the difference between these two sides. 2 through balls played by City, none for Newcastle. Newcastle, though, have had more touches in our penalty area. 15 for them, 11 for Manchester City. It's looked a little disjointed. It's not been the best of performances from Manchester City. And in terms of the midfield for City, because the players haven't played with each other before, it just all... we need players to not only be consistent, we need them to really take charge. And, Gundogan looks a little off the pace for me. He played one good through ball to Erling Haaland, but the rest of, he's had a couple of good opportunities to shoot where he's chosen not to, and playing with a poor pass straight afterwards, or his attempted chip. Again, not the best of efforts from him. And to me, I think if I'm Phil Foden, I think... I'd be asking Pep Guardiola, put me on, get me on, play me behind Erling Haaland. Let's see what I can do. If I'm James McAtee, I'm probably asking the same question. And dare I suggest, Bernardo Silva's not really been involved, so maybe Savinho could be a good option. I think there's a few players I've been impressed with. Josko Gvardiol's taken a well-taken goal. Ederson's made a really good save, and when he's been called upon has done what is needed of him. Kyle Walker's looking much better today. Jack Grealish is looking really sharp as well. So there's plenty of positives as well to really take away from this match. Just having a look, and this really speaks volume to me. I'll just try and show the camera for you guys. The average positions of the two teams. So I'm not sure if you guys can pick that up, but that's Newcastle's average positions, and you can notice on there that it's very spread about. There's a lot of presence in midfield, but you're starting to see players kind of drifting in and out. In particular, you see in Jacob Murphy on his heat map there, starting to get forward and offering the most defensively. Yet for Manchester City, look how closely compacted that is. That is crazy. Normally, you're going to be seeing the likes of Erling Haaland up here. You're going to be seeing the wingers spreading play. There's no width here for Manchester City. And I think Foden, Savinho, Jeremy Doku later in the game, these are players I've been looking towards to try and make the difference as far as I'm concerned. As Bertrand says there, Gundogan would be the place I'd take off. He looks off from the pace, and I'd be bringing Foden on would be my change. And I'd do that at half-time, even though we're 1-0 ahead. We can all see it. Pep and the analysis will be able to see it as well. So we'll see what does get done. Stone says, Gundogan's not been too great today. I agree. And I'd be making the change because of that. So, guys, do get your thoughts in the chat. That would be much appreciated. Half-time, what are your thoughts? Do let me know in the live chat. Just going to go around the grounds very quickly because I am aware that there's not too many games taking place, so it's not going to take me too long to get through the game. Starting the Premier League, City lead away from home here by a goal to nil. You've got other games taking place today. At 3 p.m. BST, you've got Arsenal taking on Leicester, Brentford taking on West Ham, Chelsea taking on Brighton, Everton taking on Crystal Palace, and Nottingham Forest taking on Fulham. In the evening kickoff at 5:30 p.m. BST, you've got Wolves taking on Liverpool at Molineux. Going around the grounds from the other teams in England, you've got some early kickoffs in the Championship. Blackburn Rovers 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Derby County 0, Norwich City 1, and Sheffield Wednesday 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. Also got some half-time scores in League One. Crawley Town 0, Bolton Wanderers 1. So my dad, Bolton Wanderers fan, he'll be very happy with that. And Reading 1, Huddersfield Town 1. And into League 2, got a couple of early kickoffs. Harrogate Town 2, Bradford City 1 at half-time, and Walsall 1, Colchester United 0. And that's you guys all up to date with what is happening from around the grounds. Now, I do have some half-time entertainment for you guys to enjoy. You can go and check out my partner channel, Mixid. Links and details, they are in the description. Speaking of partner channels, JSGC Football has been nominated for the FCA, so that's the Football Content Awards. We've been nominated for the best club content creator in the English Football League. So I've left a post on my channel, on this channel. You can go and check out my partner channel. It's all on there with how you guys can go and vote, so do go and check that out. Do go and check out Mixid, another one of my partner channels as well. That would be much appreciated, providing today's halftime entertainment, which is an English guy tries the strongest absinthe in the world. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and I'll see you for the second half.
What's going on, guys? Mixid here, back again for another review video. I'm proud to present to you the Habsburg XC Absinthe. It is 89.9%. It is the strongest absinthe in the world. After the Spiritus 95, this is the strongest absinthe that you can get on the market. It's an Italian brand, and I can't wait to try this, as I will do the challenge of Mixid versus Habsburg XC. Who will win? So with Habsburg XC, this cost me $44.95 on the market from Whiskey Exchange. I think you can get it from the Master Mold for $43, but they don't have them in stock, so I had to go to Whiskey Exchange. So it's a unique thing. It's still a collector's item, and is one of those things you must have in your bar collection. But again, I cannot say this before I do this. I'm going to do a shot of it, but I do not recommend this at all. Do not copy what I am about to do with this, which is drink it in a shot glass. As I'm interested to see what the flavour is like, if it's anything like Spiritus that was just pure fire. I'm hoping this will be a little bit smoother, but it's certainly go pack a punch at 89.9%. We're still a little bit mad on this channel, so let's get straight into it. So, with Absinthe, it came back into the market. It has that edginess, that uniqueness to it, as it appeals to like your hipsters, but it has that student vibe as it came back into fashion in the 2000s, and it has the nickname the Green Fairy. Maybe I will be seeing Green Fairies after taking a shot of this, but I will let you know if I do see Green Fairies. So with Habsburg, it is a modern resurgent absinthe growing popularity. It is beautifully captured in Habsburg Absinthe. I thought this would be Austrian rather than Italian because their name Habsburg. I thought it appealed to the Habsburg monarchs, if you know your history. Because it was a huge family that dominated Europe, especially throughout medieval Europe. As Habsburg, especially like the HRE, the Holy Roman Empire. But obviously it's nothing to do with that. But this superior high-strength original absinthe is expertly prepared to a traditional recipe and infused with Artemisia absinthium, also known as Grand Wormwood. So if you know your absinthe, it has wormwood in it. As that's one of the reasons why this band's supposed to give you illusions. Maybe I will see today. But enjoy this with your ice water mixes and create great tasting cocktails, which I can't wait to try as well. But I just want to take this neat, I just want to see how it tastes. Straight as a shot, as that's the challenge. Mixed versus absinthe. So let's get straight into this. It's a shame to open it really, because I might have to buy another bottle just as a collector's item. So I'll give it a review. I think it's a collector's item. I think it's a unique thing. It's 500ml, that's or 50cl. I think it's a review, so I'll do the design now. So design the bottle before I take this is, I think it's nice and quirky. It's nice and streamlined. It's nice and slim. But it's nothing exciting there really. It's because it's a nice one, but I think I'm being generous in giving this a 7.5 out of 10. Price, it's a little bit on the pricey side, but you pay for what you get. It's a unique one. I'm going to give that a solid 8 out of 10, especially when you're going for premium products. And now, the most important thing is, how does it taste? Let's score this bad boy. The strongest absinthe I do have is 69%, which is a Laffy one that I have. There's that famous smell, that licorice taste I get, especially think of Pernod if you ever had it. That's what it has, that nice licorice smell with it. It's absolutely beautiful. I just love the taste of the aniseed in it, and that's what it reminds me of. So now, let's pour into our shot glass. Again, I can't say this enough, drink responsibly. Why do we do it on this channel? So once again, I found myself drinking a spirit that's near enough 90%. Not as bad as the Spiritus. But hopefully this will have the flavour of the absinthe. As this is going to taste like pure fire again, I think. But here it is. Habsburg XC Absinthe. Cheers. Oh man, I feel fine. Oh, that warms up the cockles, that does. Oh man. Oh, wow. Oh. Ooh. Nowhere near as bad as Spiritus. One thing I will say with that. Whew, so just get my thoughts together, eh? So how are you feeling? Feel fine, yeah? Whew. So I'm literally not seeing green furries, but that certainly packs a punch. You certainly know when you had it, and I do not recommend you do it. You certainly taste that extreme strength, that just like pure fire. But it has taste, a unique taste of the absinthe with the absinthe and the smoothness with it. And that's what surprised me. It's quite smooth. Even at 89.9%, it still has taste with it. It's not horrible, but that as a mixer, that'd be absolutely beautiful. I can only recommend the Habsburg, especially with the lesser strengths, the 72% and the 53.3, trying those varieties. But that in the mixer is absolutely beautiful. And if you're an absinthe lover, I recommend this. This will certainly appeal to you, as that is definitely a collector's item. That is fantastic. I think as a high spirit, as I can't recommend that. The taste, I'd give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Because it's quite nice and surprising me, but do not let it fool you. I'm not gonna go in for a second shot of that. That is off the table. I can confirm that right now. I'm not on the second shot. It's too don't recommend you don't even do a shot of it. It's 89.9. But I'm not going to recommend it on this channel, as drink responsibly. Don't copy what I've just done, as that's my fault. So 8.5 is the taste, 7.5 for the design, and 8 out of 10 for the price. So that rounds it up to 7.5, so 8.5, so 16, and 8, 24. So 8 out of 10 for the Habsburg XC. Just for the uniqueness of it. You can make some beautiful cocktails with this. I can't wait to try it. Imagine making a death in the afternoon with this. You'll literally be on the floor. Oh man, that'd be absolutely. It's Ernest Hemingway. That is one powerful cocktail. And imagine it with this as well. Not just any old absinthe. It's the 89.9 absinthe, the Habsburg XC. But don't forget to like and subscribe to Mix It for more cocktail videos like this. Do give me any recommendations, any challenges you want me to do on this challenge. Anything unique like that, do let me know. Any high spirits or anything that's weird and the wonderful, do let me know. But if you're from America, do let me know. How do you get Malort in the UK? I've been looking and trying to get it. I know it's a horrible spirit that's produced in Chicago. And I will get my hands on that and do a review video on that. Do let me know. So that's my next one I'm trying to find. But my next one will be the Nitro Surge. It's another review video that I've got planned. It's a Nitro Surge Guinness, as I've got the Nitro Surge cans as well. So I can't wait to try it and see how it tastes with Guinness. But I've been Mixed. I will see you in my next review video, guys. Stay awesome, and I will see you next time. Cheers. Woo.
I'm still not sure why Aaron took a sip at the end out of an empty shot glass, but here we are. Anyway, second half has started. Nothing much to report on. I don't think there's any changes have been made. So, yeah, 1-0 Manchester City lead. Got work to do here in the second half, and hopefully we'll find that killer 2-goal cushion. It's got to be the aim. Really does have to be the aim. Nick, thanks for tuning in. Stretch, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated as well. See what the analysis and Pep have said to the players at half-time. I thought they're going to do a bit differently. I also wonder what options have Newcastle got from the bench. You know, the longer this game goes on and it stays at 1-0, what do they do about it? Josko Gvardiol just puts his foot through that. To no one in particular. Some pressure comes in there from Ilkay Gundogan. Referee doesn't like it and gives a free kick to Newcastle on the edge of their own penalty area. It's a lovely, lovely goal, that Josko Gvardiol goal. Such a clever goal as a through ball comes in from Newcastle, dealt with by Manchester City, and Akanji can just play that forward, and it's just not a very good pass there from Kyle Walker. I said he's had a good first half. It's not a very good pass there. And Newcastle, lovely work from Josko Gvardiol, and that falls nicely here to Rico Lewis. Here's Kyle Walker now to Bernardo Silva. As we're now just 29 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Also in the live chat. And you can use that QR code on screen to download the free SofaScore app. I love all the statistics and everything on there. Very interesting. Anyway, here's Jack Grealish, edge of the penalty area. Gives the ball to Akanji. He works it nicely to Bernardo Silva on the right. Puts a little cross in. Looks for Gundogan and headed clear well by Newcastle and out for a throw-in to Manchester City. Well read there by Sando Tonali. Everyone's got all the coats on the City bench other than Phil Foden. He's got his bib on. Looks like he wants to come on soon as City into the penalty area and Newcastle managed to make a challenge, get the ball back. Need to get it clear. Lewis Hall will get it clear. Ruben Dias lets that ball go across his chest. He'll take control of that and he'll just play it back to Ederson. Murphy just puts the squeeze onto Manchester City. Ederson's got plenty of options. He's just going to dink this towards the right, looking for Bernardo Silva, and finds him well. Come to expect no less from Ederson's distribution, to be honest. Kovacic under pressure there from Bruno G. He's got to be careful, Bruno G. Going into challenges aggressively when he's already on a yellow card, and that's lovely work from City here. Here's Bernardo Silva. Plays a pass in, and Gundogan gets in the way of Jack Grealish. The pass was meant for Grealish, and Grealish was probably in there. And Gundogan gets in the way. It's not been Gundogan's best game, that is for sure. And here's Newcastle now at the other end. Ball comes in. They get the flick on. And Newcastle want a penalty. Kyle Walker grappled. Comes away with the ball. Referee says no penalty. Harvey Barnes it was getting forward. Not really seen that much of Harvey Barnes in this game. Anyway, here's Ilkay Gundogan then for Manchester City. Gives the ball to Jack Grealish. Grealish, lovely pass in to Rico Lewis. Lovely work. Have a shot, Jackie G. Oh, he plays a pass instead. Haaland's got nowhere to go. And there's an elbow from Jack Grealish and Tonali's gone down. Referees play on and ball gets threaded through looking for Bernardo and it falls to Haaland. And he has a shot deflected and out for, I think, a corner. Newcastle now surrounding the referee. There's definitely a raised arm there in the form of an elbow up from Jack Grealish. What contact is there? I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. It looked like it had gone up on his chin. It's on his chest. It's weak. Get up. Looking at it, this is the thing. So looking at it in real time, what you see is a little scuffle and argument going on. And you see Grealish's arm come up. The referee said, nothing more in it, play on. Let's have a look at it from this angle. The problem is, though, the cameras are all focused on Erling Haaland, so you don't really get a clear angle of what's happening. But you see Grealish's arm come up, and it doesn't come up a lot. I think more importantly for Jack Grealish, it doesn't hit Tonali's chin. He doesn't do that. He just leaves his arm, it just trails up casually, and it connects with Tonali in the chest, and it's just not. He just throws himself to ground. Corner then, Gundogan to take. Doesn't beat the first man at the near post. I think Gundogan needs to come off. For me, City just taking their time. Newcastle not happy with it. Dark arts! It's the dark arts, guys. So the poor touch and Kovacic gets his head onto that. Newcastle scrambling to get that clear. They do well in the end to actually get a clearance and not put it out of play. Here's Lewis Hall. Takes on Rico Lewis. Again, allowing the bounce. Eventually they get it clear. No hold-up play. It will fall to Manchester City. And Akanji just plays a loose ball forward. And this is the danger which Akanji should deal with and deals with well under pressure from Anthony Gordon, and Akanji can play his pass forward and Gundogan will help mop that up. Here's Jack Grealish. Lovely work from Jack Grealish. Plays the ball out of play. He's going nowhere. Takes the hit from Kieran Trippier. Down he goes. Free kick Manchester City. And Jack Grealish. Pantomime villain Jack Grealish. He's got a smile on his face. Kieran Trippier is now smiling about it, but that's definitely a smiling through the pain face from Kieran Trippier. Mike, thoughts on Rico Lewis this game? He's not really been involved in this game, if I'm being honest. I think Gundogan stood out to me as being the player that's looked off pace rather than Rico Lewis, but we've not really found a way to get Rico Lewis that involved in the game at the Mo. William says, Gentleman Jack. He knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Pantomime villain. And he wouldn't have it any other way. He really wouldn't. Pass then comes forward from Ederson. Finds Erling Haaland. He finds his pass to Josko Gvardiol. And here's Grealish. It's a poor touch from Jackie G. Very unlike Jack. He's had a really good game. He's been a real nuisance. And Newcastle just starting to get involved. And that's a poor touch from Gordon. And that's an offside position, no? Goes out of play for a throw into Newcastle, which Newcastle want to get on with. Yeah, Newcastle just starting to rush things a little bit. That's a lovely ball from Bruno G, though. And Newcastle are in here. Rounds the keeper and he goes down. And penalty given. Ederson's given a yellow card. City want an offside flag. It's a mess at the back from City. Anthony Gordon goes down. Does Ederson touch him? So what Ederson's asked. There's all kinds of things here before a penalty is given. If there is contact, it's a penalty. Not debating that. Let's have a look. Is there contact? Is there contact? Right, look at the offside before you look at that. I think Kyle Walker's played in miles onside there. It's poor from Kyle. The next question is there contact? Let's have a look. Penalty given, yeah. So they've deemed that there is contact. He is onside. He initiates the contact for me. Ederson doesn't grab or pull him down. He slides in and then pulls out. But because... I think because his boot touches him and he goes down, there's a penalty he's given. So Bruno G was going to go and take the penalty. But he's given it to Anthony Gordon. He's scored all 4 of his Newcastle penalties. Normally it's Alexander Isak that takes the penalty. So it's a big chance this for Newcastle. You can't help but feel like they have to score. No VAR check. They've deemed that it's a penalty. So Anthony Gordon up against Ederson. Huge moment in this game. Come on, Eddie. And Gordon sends the keeper the wrong way and it's 1-1. Now this is where I'd be making subs if I was City. My response would be Savinho. My response would be Jeremy Doku. And I let them have a run at Newcastle now is what I would do. I don't think Pep's happy that the decision's been given. It's into the corner there from Anthony Gordon. I mean, he's not looking... I mean, Anthony Gordon's not looking at the goalkeeper there. So he's banking on the keeper going the wrong way. It'd have been quite interesting if Ederson had gone the right way as to whether he'd made a save. I think because Anthony Gordon's put plenty of power... and it's low down. The keeper probably struggles to make the save, but it's not right in the corner. And there's an equaliser then for Newcastle. So work for City to do in the final half an hour. No clean sheet for Manchester City. And Kyle Walker's had a pretty good game up until then. Just played in miles onside because City's defensive line, you know, Ruben Dias and everything did everything right as Kovacic has a shot and he slips and it goes wide. Yeah, City's defensive line did everything right. Anthony Gordon, if Kyle Walker holds the line with the rest of the defensive line, he's a yard offside. But because Kyle Walker's stepped back and he's not looking across the line, plays him onside. Kyle Walker doesn't even appeal. Kyle Walker knows. And then Anthony Gordon looks to round the goalkeeper. Feels the touch from the keeper and takes it and goes down and there's the penalty. Frustrating, very frustrating. As City's first yellow card as Kovacic goes in on Sando Tonali and I think City just need to This is where I'd be chucking subs on. This is where Newcastle think, we're well back in this game now. We've got control. City are starting to look a little frustrated. They're starting to rush. Man City have to respond. And this is where I'd respond by sending 3 substitutes on. I send Savinho, I send Phil Foden, and I send Jeremy Doku on. And I say to Newcastle's midfield, and I say to their defence, here's some fresh legs. Have it. Deal with it. City wait another 10, 15 minutes. They could be behind. They could be behind now. Newcastle go down. They want another penalty. Referee says no. And all of a sudden, Josko Gvardiol gives the ball away. And City are all over the place here, guys. All over the place. Keeper's advancing. He makes a good save there, Ederson. Jack Grealish picks the ball up. He wants to find a free kick somewhere. He's looking for something. He gives the ball away is what he does. And then there's some afters and there's handbags going on between Grealish and Sando Tonali. It's getting a very feisty game. Doesn't need to be a feisty game. City are just half a yard slower. It's not a good ball from Newcastle and it goes out of play. I mean, it's clumsy from Walker. I think Jack Grealish has just gone into the book. I wonder if Tonali's gone into the book. He's already on a yellow. Well, there's some afters between both of them there. I mean, Grealish, I think, has been given a yellow card. Surely they've both been given yellow cards, but I don't think Tonali is on a yellow card. Yeah, Tonali has gone into the book, and I think Grealish has as well. And commentators are saying they don't think it's a penalty. They think Jack Grealish is protecting. Joelinton knows what he's doing, and he goes to ground too easily. But he goes to ground too easily. Yet what was Anthony Gordon's? The game management from City has not been right in this second half. Not being right. They need to be doing much more. And I'm looking towards Pep, and subs have got to be made. I know Phil Foden's been sent down the tunnel. I'm not sure why he's been sent down the tunnel, as that's out for a throw into Newcastle. City are just struggling with the pressing game. They struggled a little bit in the first half with the pressing game. They need to get to grips with things. I feel like Newcastle are just dictating what happens as Erling Haaland goes down under a challenge from Joelinton. And the referee... Now, this is just very similar to the game last week against Arsenal, where the referee... I spoke about it earlier to you guys. The referee's reluctance to hand out early yellow cards, to let the precedent be known to the players that I'm not putting up with it. And when you don't, you get later into the game... Yellow cards start come flying around because you've let things fly before that were yellow card challenges, and then things that aren't yellow card challenges become yellow cards. Players get frustrated, and you end up with a really feisty game of football. A real nasty, physical game of football. And it's where you end up with red cards. It's where you end up with players being left unhappy for the slightest of things and getting sent off for it. Leandro Trossard booting the ball away. Is it crime of the century? No. Is it frustrating? Very. But you're on a final warning. As the ball comes in for Newcastle and it's wide. City need to start making changes because they're all over the place here. Absolutely all over the place. The gap between defence and midfield's a joke. If City aren't careful, they'll go behind here. And I'm not ruling out, like last week, the potential of a red card somewhere on the pitch. Here's Akanji. So Phil Foden is going to be chucked on for City. It's got to be for Gundogan, this. It's got to be for Gundogan. But I'm with Mike. Ball's given away again from City from Kovacic. And here's Newcastle, 4 forward. He's forced wide by Walker. If he isn't forced wide by Walker, it'd be a 4-on-4. In the 65th minute in a game we're drawing 1-1. And more space for Newcastle. It's just played across our 6-yard box. Nobody's there, thankfully. This is atrocious from Manchester City right now. Absolutely atrocious. They've got zero control right now. They're not managing this game. Buy some free kicks and slow this game down. Gundogan is coming off for Foden. I'm sorry, I chucked Savinho and Doku on at the same time. I'd say to Newcastle, hey, you've got two very quick, agile wingers coming on. We're changing our shape. Newcastle have to adapt to deal with that, because if 65 minutes of Kieran Trippier, who's 33, 34 years old, and he's got a 22-year-old Jeremy Doku running at him for the last 20 minutes. It's bad news for Newcastle. And you force them onto the back foot. Because at the moment, City are very much on the back foot. I'm hoping this is going to be a case where, just like in the first half, where I'm not happy about something and I go back and say, what do I know, Man City go on to score, and patience is key once more. But this game hasn't felt right. It's not... I don't know what it is. Compact in the middle, yet space everywhere. Doesn't make sense. City just look leggy, tired, and a little disjointed. It's not... I don't get it. Here's Rico Lewis putting pressure on. City do so well. Rico Lewis is just grappled to the ground, ref. Just grappled to the ground. No free kick. Throw in Manchester City. Kyle Walker to take. That should be another throw into City, and is. Here's Foden. Pass given away. Worked by Walker to Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden just slips and Newcastle can come away with the ball. Plays the ball forward. It's a heavy touch. City have got to be around that, and that should be a free kick. It should be a free kick. Is this a joke? How is that not a free kick? We're getting towards Michael Oliver's stance of last week, where the referee just hasn't got control of this game. Arsenal fans just want to say that referees are biased towards Man City and they get the late goal and everything's always in favour of Manchester City, etc, etc, etc. But, I've not met one City fan who said that Michael Oliver was good last week. He was inept. He was awful. Didn't do his job properly, and the same again here. And I'm not even complaining about the penalty that's had the big impact on this game being 1-1. I think once the contact comes in, the penalty's going to be given no matter which referee you get. But there's challenges that have come in that are yellow cards that weren't yellow cards. There's challenges that have come in that aren't yellow cards that have been yellow cards. There's been challenges that have come in that are fouls that just haven't been given. It's poor. And that's out for a goal kick to Newcastle. One thing City have done is last 4 minutes is just kind of taken the tempo away from Newcastle. Newcastle haven't really touched the ball. They haven't got out of their own area. So it takes that danger away from Manchester City. And I'm hoping just another 5 minutes of this will be enough to tire Newcastle out enough that they're forced to the bench to make changes. Anyway, guys, 23 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Ball comes forward, should be mopped up by City. It's a poor pass, but will be mopped up by Manuel Akanji. He'll find Ederson into the final 20 of this game. Ederson finds his pass to Ruben Dias, and Ruben Dias now can come forward for City. He's got plenty of options ahead of him. Goes sideways to Kovacic. He's got plenty of options ahead of him. He just chips a ball forward looking for Haaland, and he's clattered and he goes down. Good goalkeeping. He gets to the ball first. Because if he doesn't, it's a penalty at the other end for City, as Jack Grealish is can't sort his feet out and just runs it out of play. It's a lovely ball forward from Kovacic. Haaland nearly gets there. Keeper takes the contact. Haaland gets there ahead of the keeper. It's a penalty every day of the week. Risky business. Ball comes forward from Newcastle, looking for Murphy. Can't find Murphy. Mopped up by Josko Gvardiol. There was space behind Josko Gvardiol, though. That's a better ball. You know, City are on the back foot again. Here's City coming forward, though. Gives the ball to Rico Lewis. I think City have got to risk losing this game to try and win it. You've got to chuck Doku and Savinho on. And I don't just mean for like 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, you know, now. Here's Kovacic then. Finds Bernardo Silva. Gives the ball to Kovacic. Back to Bernardo. City trying to get forward. Akanji on the edge of the penalty area. Gives the ball out wide to Grealish. Back to Akanji. Newcastle with everybody behind the ball. He puts a ball into the box. Headed clear. Haaland finds Foden, and it's a good shot, and it's straight at the keeper. It's as good a chance as Joelinton had in the first half, right at the death. Takes the touch, finds the volley. It's a clean connection. It's straight at the keeper. Ball comes forward from Newcastle. Dealt with really well by City. So Newcastle are going to twist. They're going to make a change. Harvey Barnes, I said he's hardly been involved in this game. He's going to come off. Here's Grealish. Gives the ball to Kovacic. Plays a pass into Foden. He does really well. Josko Gvardiol into the penalty area. He tries to play a ball across. Angles too tight. And the keeper manages to get a hold of that. And Mike, yeah, it's very frustrating. It's all about referees with Manchester City when it just isn't. Just a lazy assumption that people make. That people lap up because it's, you know, anything bad said about Man City, people lap up. Quent, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. So into the final 16 and a half minutes of this game, plus whatever's to be added on. Nothing to split these two teams. 1-1 here. Josko Gvardiol's opening goal in the first half cancelled out by Anthony Gordon's penalty in the second half. We're a bit of a stalemate, and because of that, Newcastle are going to make a change to try and shake things up. I imagine that change will be made next time the ball goes out of play. Look like offside, and is. That'll be a free kick for City that City want to take quickly. And the referee does let the free kick be taken quickly, so the sub isn't made by Newcastle yet. Here's Phil Foden. Got his opportunity here today. And if he can help guide City to a win here, you imagine I'll earn him a start in the Champions League. It's a big match against Slovan Bratislava midweek. You know, might not be the biggest name in European football, but it's a must-win game for City as Grealish goes low. Foot comes in. Newcastle can get that clear. Headed away only as far as Kovacic finds Haaland in space. He has a shot. Good defending. Really good defending from Newcastle. Here's Kovacic. To Kyle Walker. Here's Ruben Dias. Akanji then finds Jack Grealish. Not many options available here for City. Space opened up for Kovacic. City playing it around, and Rico Lewis trying to use his low centre of gravity to create something. Couldn't find his pass forward, and Newcastle can get it clear. Philemba, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Please don't span the chat with any more draws there. Is Jack Grealish. edge of the penalty area. Akanji plays a ball into the box. Foden can take a touch. He can find Jack Grealish. He goes to the byline, just whips one across, and Haaland's there. I think he gets his head onto it, but it's a difficult one for Haaland to control. And it's into the stands. It's just drilled across. You don't have any time to think about it there, Haaland. Just get your head onto it, and he does. And, it's a chance, but over the top of the crossbar. So there's these changes then from Newcastle. Harvey Barnes is coming off. And Tonali's going to be the other player coming off here for Newcastle, as Newcastle have got a couple of players with cramp. Nadir, I'm always positive. I always think City can find that goal. I think last week demonstrated that City have got very much an attitude of they don't know when they're beat. They don't know when to give up. City can just continue pushing and pushing and pushing. We can find something. So a couple of players just down with cramp here for Newcastle. It's been a long afternoon. There's a lot of running involved when you're playing against Manchester City. Tonali looks just spent. He's done. He's going to come off. He's going to limp off. I'm not too sure who the other player is that's down. Yeah, Trippier's going to come off. Livramento's going to come on. Newcastle needing them fresh legs. This is why 10 minutes ago I'd have chucked Savinho and Doku on. I'd have given them 10 minutes before Newcastle freshen it up. And now the impact of Doku and Savinho isn't looking as sharp and as good because Newcastle have already got fresh legs on to help defend from City's fresh legs coming on. Hesitation from City when they just didn't need to. So Trippier comes off for Livramento. Sandro Tonali's coming off. I'm just waiting for confirmation as to who's coming on. So Barnes, Tonali and Trippier are the players that have come off. We've seen Trippier go off and Livramento come on. And Longstaff comes on for Tonali. Livramento's on for Trippier and Willock's on for Harvey Barnes. So fresh legs here for Newcastle. They want to help deal with the threat of Manchester City, but they also want to see if they can push for a winner. Remember, Newcastle win today, they go over Manchester City. Don't forget, guys, please do leave a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. Do subscribe if you're new around here. And do press... do go and check out SofaScore, today's video sponsor. Links and details there in the description. Here's Kyle Walker. Gives the ball to Bernardo Silva. Forced backwards here, Bernardo. Instruction comes in from Newcastle for them to push their defensive line forward, put the squeeze on to City with 12 minutes remaining. Here is Ederson. Oh, it's not the best of passes, but in the end, City can deal with it. Barge comes in on the back, and that will be a free kick for Manchester City. And Josko Gvardiol's felt every impact of that push in the back there. He's now just limping away. Here's Ederson then. The thing for me is the pace of the game being played by City. It's so patient, but, 1-1's not the worst result in the world. But, Man City come the end of the season may miss out on the Premier League title by 2 points. And was in a winning position and, we had 3 points at half time, and then you come out at full time with 1 point. You drop 2 points. As far as I'm concerned, every game for Manchester City is winnable. That's a great chance for Newcastle, and it's just wide from Longstaff. It's just come on. And he just drags his shot. Knife through butter stuff, that. Acres of space. Rico Lewis not picking his man up. And, it's a brilliant chance that for Newcastle. That's a massive warning for City. Massive warning. And Manchester City are going to respond because of that, and they're going to take Rico Lewis off. And they're going to take Jackie G off as well. He's had a good game there, Jack. Not really been involved last 10 minutes or so. So I think it's the right time for him to come off. And it's going to be them changes that I was asking for, which is Savinho and Jeremy Doku now coming on. So this is City now twisting their arm. But I just can't help but feel like it's 15 minutes too late. I wanted Jeremy Doku running at Kieran Trippier, not a fresh Livramento. Goal kick for City then, being taken by Ruben Dias, or it was going to be taken by Ruben Dias. It's now going to be taken by Ederson. City just time wasting. Surprised the referee's not booked the keeper for it. He's already in it on a yellow card. He's not going to book the keeper for it, is he? But Ederson's got to be careful. They don't want to give the referee an excuse to send you off. That's a free kick if ever I saw one for Newcastle. Referee doesn't give it, and Newcastle in a tight space here. Just do well to play the way out of bother. Anthony Gordon, he's got half a yard on Diaz, and he continues to come forward, and he can play his pass, which Akanji can play back to the keeper, and Ederson can just about get it clear. I don't think he was aware that there was a player behind his shoulder, and that's a brilliant steal from Bernardo Silva now. He's got Haaland ahead of him. Plays it to Haaland. He's forced wide. He finds Jeremy Doku. Chance still not over here for City. Edge of the Newcastle penalty area. Here comes the cavalry for support. Josko Gvardiol finds Walker. Gives the ball to Savinho. Up against Lewis Hall. Back to Kyle Walker once more. He will put a ball into the box. Dealt with by Newcastle. And further cleared. Only as far as Savinho though. He takes a real good touch and he comes out with the ball. He's got Bernardo Silva for support. Bernardo goes first time. Can't get the ball across. He does well there, Bernardo. And his free kick's given against him. Nice and bright, that from Savinho. Still time in this game. 7.5 minutes plus whatever's to be added on. As we're now 19 likes, guys, away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Remember, guys, I am going to be doing some regular streams over on another platform called Big Up. You can go and check it out. Go and follow me on there. That would be great. Going live tomorrow, 2 p.m. BST, where I'm going to be analysing more of this game and giving my thoughts. So do come and join me for that. I've just put the link in the live chat if you do want to go and check that out. That would be much appreciated. It's a really good platform to be able to create a really good community with each other, have a real good chat and interact with each other. It looks really good, looks absolutely brilliant, so do go and check it out. It was formerly known as Tifo, so some of you guys may know it as Tifo. It's recently changed its name to Big Up, so do go and check that out. Phil Foden not happy, felt like he was having his shirt pulled. I think, has Phil Foden been penalised for putting his hand in Bruno G's face? He has, hasn't he? Or has he given it to City? Which way has this gone? If it's gone to City. I was going to say, if he's giving that free kick to Newcastle, I'd be furious. Absolutely furious. So free kick here for City in a good area to put something good into the box. Josko Gvardiol's forward. He's already got a goal today. Diaz is forward. Haaland's in there. One quality ball into the box is all it takes. Phil Foden stood over it. Foden whips it in. It's very deep. Misses everybody. Bernardo picks it up. On the right wing. He can put a ball across. It's deflected. Kovacic has a shot and it's just wide from Mateo Kovacic. Newcastle survive. 5 minutes remain then. 1-1 here. Where do we go about giving the JSGC man of the match here? I think Grealish has had a really good game. A well-taken goal from Josko Gvardiol. Walker had a good first half. Anthony Gordon's been a bit of a nuisance for Newcastle. Here's Savinho just great, getting forward. Coming together, he goes down, no free kick. Trying to burst forward, trying to get them opportunities. Here's Joelinton showing his strength well. And, you know, Joelinton's really developed himself into a tidy football player. I remember when he first signed for Newcastle, He looked miles away. He's adapted himself. He came as an attacker. Made himself a real nuisance in midfield. He's done a real good job in midfield today for Newcastle. I think Joelinton's probably impressed me more today than Bruno Dias. Joelinton, speaking of him, has gone down now, feeling a little bit of cramp. Stretches it out and is happy to get back up again. Kyle Walker then to take the throw in for City. He wants Kyle Walker to go back. Kyle Walker takes the throw in. Just thumps this, looking for Jeremy Doku. Headed clear by Newcastle. Looking for the space. They find the space. That's so poor from City. And that's good defending from Manuel Akanji to cut that off. Here's Bernardo Silva. So he's centralised himself. He wants a free kick. He'll get a free kick. Here is Bernardo then to Ruben Dias. 3 minutes. 3 minutes remaining, guys. 18 likes to go. Any help towards that would be great. Here's Doku. Not seen too much of Doku since he came on. Trying to burst forward. He's got Livramento to live with. Fresh legs just come on. Can't get past him. Has to go back. Kovacic. Space opens up for him. Gives it to Bernardo. He's got Akanji and acres of space here. Gives the ball to Akanji. He plays a pass forward looking for Foden. Akanji can't play the pass forward and find Foden, but the ball ricocheted back to him. And City go again. Akanji's popping up everywhere. Finds a pass to Kyle Walker. 2.5 minutes then. What can City find? What can they muster? You feel like there's going to be a big chance between now and the full-time whistle. There's still a chance left in this game. Here's Jeremy Doku. Will he have another pop? Nearly gets tackled. Grabs the ball again. Plays it to Josko Gvardiol. He wants support. He's brought down. City want a free kick. Referee says no. Newcastle's lovely work. Really lovely work from Murphy to come forward. And they've got space here. Joelinton, he's got a man on him, and it's Savinho, and City win the ball back. Good work that from Savinho. Ederson will send that as far away from the City goal as possible, and Newcastle nearly get stung. Savinho's everywhere at the moment, running around. He's trying, he's working. Livramento has to go back to Pope. He's got passing options. He's going to send this long. Everyone's offside, and Newcastle just give the ball away. If I was a Newcastle fan in the position of on the verge of getting a point against City, giving the ball away in the 89th minute, unnecessarily, I'd be furious when there were better options available. Bernardo Silva then plays the ball to Akanji, works it to the left. Here is Jeremy Doku, fancies himself again, bursts forward, plays the ball forward. Newcastle defend that. I'm surprised Pope didn't give the shout to pick the ball up there. And Newcastle just give the ball away. I think it was Longstaff, and here's Foden just playing a pass forward. He's got no one there, and Foden does really well just to gather up possession once more for City. And here's Bernardo Silva, gives the ball to Kyle Walker. City attacking on the right-hand side. Here's Savinho, plays a pass forward looking for Kyle Walker. Can't link it up well, and Newcastle can come forward. Ruben Dias makes a challenge there, and he's into the book now. I'm not going to argue with that one. It's definitely a yellow card from Ruben Dias. He slides in. It's late. As Ruben Dias lost half a yard of pace, he just looks slightly slower or more sluggish a little bit this season. He steps forward. Is it because he hesitates? I'm not sure. Anyway, that runs us into the 90th minute. What are we into? I reckon 4 minutes will be added on here. 7 minutes! Wow, 7 minutes then for both sides to find a winner. Where have they got 7 minutes from? Rightio. Now it's Newcastle's turn to do a bit of time wasting. Looked like Bruno G was going to take that free kick. He decides not to. He's going to leave it to Lewis Hall to launch a ball forward. Should be dealt with in the air by City. In the end, it ricochets around. And why has Ederson not come out to collect that ball? I have no idea. Josko Gvardiol in the end has to play it off a Newcastle player to get a throw-in for City. And I'm surprised Newcastle aren't putting more of a squeeze on City. I really am surprised. They've just dropped deep, Newcastle, so City take their opportunity just to launch this forward and get it away from our goal. Joelinton's going to win that. And that's lovely from Bernardo Silva. You know, Bernardo Silva's looked so much more effective in the middle. Haaland finds Foden in space. Good pass. Doku, go first time. He hasn't. He's turned. It's a good ball in and it's dealt with well by Newcastle. Not a bad ball in that from Jeremy. Joelinton's been everywhere. City trying to knock on the door. Here's Walker. I'm telling you, there's still one chance left. Walker finds Savinho. To Foden. Chips the ball forward looking for Bernardo Silva. What a save! What a shot! What an effort! What a save from Nick Pope! Lovely chest control from Bernardo Silva. Lovely volley. Brilliant save. Big right hand to tip that over the top of the crossbar and out for a corner. I think the keeper makes it look more dramatic than it was. Near enough straight at him, but the thing is, it's a huge, big right hand onto that to have the power and strength with a pace that's coming from the shot to tip it over the bar. Great save, Pope. Corner City. Doesn't beat the first man. It's ricocheting around in the penalty area. Newcastle want a free kick. Referee says no. Newcastle get it clear. Gordon goes down. Referee says no free kick. Looked like a free kick to me. City happy to play on. Doku doesn't put a ball into the box yet. Does now. And that'll be a goal kick. Anthony Gordon gets up at the right time to make the challenge. Can't be that hurt. And that just ticks over another few seconds for Newcastle United. Still got 4 minutes. 4 minutes remaining here. I don't think City are going to be overly that disappointed with a draw at St James's Park. It's not an easy place to come away from home, so to come away with points is much better than losing. I don't think we can escape from the talking point that I just can't help but feel like if Rodri was fit and we had him on the field, we'd have won this game. So a throw in here for Manchester City. I don't think the referee's happy with the football. He wants the football changing, I think. Or is it the ball still moving? I don't know. There's going to be a drop ball. I'm not too sure what the referee's spotted, but Newcastle are going to get the ball back here, which Dan Burns just going to play back to the keeper. Game just eats away a few more seconds to the game. Pope sends this far away from the Newcastle goal. Ruben Dias wins the header. Joelinton using his physicality and strength so well. He must have taken so much confidence from Pep Guardiola's comments before the game about his strength, and now he's going to win all the second balls as Kyle Walker is going to take the throw in for Manchester City here. He must have gone about 5 yards further forward than where that went out there. Surprised the referee didn't pull that one back as Haaland goes down. He wants a free kick. Referee says no. Bernardo Silva just takes the foot off the gas and plays a nice back heel to Akanji to ensure that Newcastle's pressing game doesn't work, and City look to have another go here at this Newcastle back line as Jeremy Doku then on the left wing gives the ball to Josko Gvardiol. It's backs against the wall here for Newcastle. Ruben Dias can't get it under control. It runs across his body, so he has to take 3 steps back as Phil Foden's in a good position here. Centre to goal, finds Kovacic. Here's Savinho now. Got the support of Bernardo. He's got Kyle Walker behind him. Just puts a ball in looking for Haaland, and he finds the header, and it's a good save again from Nick Pope. But we've still got time. There's still 2 minutes left. I still think there's going to be one more big chance. It's a free header for Haaland. I can see what he's looking for. There's just not the power in the ball from Savinho. And 2 minutes remaining here. I feel like there's one chance left. There's one chance left. Could be for Newcastle. Nick Pope sends it long. Ruben Dias lets it bounce. Takes it under control. Plays a good pass to Ederson. Josko Gvardiol given the man of the match by TNT Sports. I think I'm going to agree. I think Jack Grealish isn't too far behind. And I'm going to be honest, Joelinton's been outstanding today for Newcastle. Nearly a poor giveaway from City. Ruben Dias does enough as Bernardo Silva goes down. Advantage to City. Here is Kovacic to Akanji. Ruben Dias. Next goal wins. Bernardo to Walker. Gives the ball to Savinho. And he gets a corner for Manchester City. Last chance then, guys. Corner Manchester City. Savinho comes over to take. If ever we've needed that set-piece coach to earn his money, now is that time. Diaz forward. Gvardiol forward. Haaland's in there. Savinho takes it. Headed clear by Newcastle. 30 seconds. Kovacic. Foden. It's got to go in. It's deep. It's too deep. It's straight into the arms of Pope. And he thought about sending Newcastle forward. There's 20 seconds left. Fabian Schar's gone down now. He's feeling a bit of cramp. More time wasted. I wonder if the referee's going to add on any of the wasted time in added time. Because if he does, with a drop ball incident and things going on, I wonder if maybe there might just be time for one more attack in the game. We're in added time now, on added time. Is the referee just going to blow the whistle as soon as Nick Pope sends this forward? He is not even going to let him send it forward. He blows the full-time whistle. And this game ends level. Newcastle United 1, Manchester City 1 here in the Premier League. The spoils are shared at St James's Park. An exhausting game. Two sides can't be separated. And we leave with a point. And Eddie Howe's exchanging some talking points with Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola didn't look like he was too impressed with what Eddie Howe's just said to him. Got a bit feisty in the second half upon the penalty being given to Newcastle. In the end, points are shared. City remain top of the Premier League for now. And Manchester City need to have a look at what everybody else does to see where we lie in the Premier League. Just having a look at the live league table. Manchester City are 2 points clear of both Aston Villa and Liverpool. Arsenal know to go above Manchester City. They've got to win today by 4 goals or more at home to Leicester. So I wouldn't rule out Arsenal being able to do that. We do stay above Newcastle, so the worst it can get for City after today is we drop down to 4th. We want to keep an eye on what Liverpool do this weekend and what Aston Villa do, and also Arsenal. Arsenal at home to Leicester. If they win by 4 or more, they go over City. Liverpool's not got an easy game away against Wolverhampton Wanderers. We'll see if we can get a favour from them. And in terms of Aston Villa, I think they're playing tomorrow because they are. And they take on Ipswich Town away. So we'll see if we do get any favours off anybody else. But I don't think this is the worst point in the world. Yeah, no, I don't think this is the worst point for Manchester City in the world. But because we're in a winning position, it's disappointing that we've not come away with the 3 points. But this is always the danger you have when you don't get the killer 2-goal cushion. I think Man City played too careful of a game, and I'll go into more detail during my match reaction for you guys, which will be up within the next hour. Do remember, come and join me on Big Up tomorrow, where I'll digest more of the analysis into this game. So the link is in the live chat. Go and sign up over there. It is free to sign up. Do go and follow me and stay tuned for that. It's going to be a regular live stream for me on Big Up after every single Manchester City game, where I'm going to digest, analyse and give more of my thoughts for you guys to enjoy. But I want to personally thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, we're back with another City live watch along for the match on Tuesday night in the Champions League away against Slovan Bratislava, where that is because we've dropped points at home against Inter Milan. To me, a must-win game. So do stay tuned for that. I will be live on Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. BST. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up with 14 likes. I'm wondering if we can get to 90, if we could maybe hit 100 likes in the post-production. That would be absolutely brilliant. So please do leave a thumbs up. That would be great. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe. Do also check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. And I'll see you guys all for the next live watch-along on Tuesday evening. I'll see you guys within the next hour giving my thoughts of my max reaction from this game. And alternatively, I'll see you guys over on Big Up tomorrow for that analysis report for me to provide to you guys for this game, giving more of my thoughts in terms of the tactics and going into more about how Man City have played and more about the absence of Rodri and the impact it's had, and going into more detail on that. So do stay tuned for that. Do go and check out the Big Up. That would be great. Link is in the live chat. Do go and follow me on there. That would be much appreciated. And I will see you all real soon. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.